evening. My name is Repulsive. I'm the bass player slash singer for the Order of the Fly, and also the singer slash sequence guy slash programmer slash everything else for the band End. I have been away for about a year. I've been out of the country, and I just recently got back and have been wanting to reconnect with people, but not do it via email or something a little less personal. So I thought, what better way than to make a small YouTube chat kind of vlog or whatever, to get a chance to really get in depth and talk about some things that I think are interesting and stuff that I've always wanted to get a chance to discuss, such as the history of our band and where it came from, and all the background of everybody that's played in the band over the years, all the various members that have come and gone, and get a chance to sit down and talk to them and discuss a lot of the experiences that we've all had together. We've had a really weird, long, storied history. The band has gone through tons of up and downs, lots of breakups, lots of reuniting with past members. Reunions, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. And so this is my third take at this, and I'm not doing very well. I'm having trouble thinking on the fly, as it were. But I'm bummed. So the other goal for this as a little YouTube show is that I wanted to do a sort of sit-down, old-fashioned style late night talk radio type show where I get to sit down with someone else and to discuss some of their things they're passionate about, and also discuss the things I'm passionate about, such as comics, some of the great underappreciated runs of comics, especially the black and white explosion of the 80s and 90s, or some of the more underrated independents and stuff. I kind of got forgotten. I would love to discuss some of the stuff that I was really influenced by as a teenager when I was heavily into collecting comics. Possibly discuss some of the movies and my history with filmmaking and some of the things I've worked on, as well as some of the movies that I think are really underappreciated and great, and debate them with other friends and people in the band, and discuss favorite records and albums that I have that are huge influences on me, and discuss some of the other influences of the other guys in the band, and see where their interests are and what appeals to them. I'm a big collector of vinyl. I love records, and there's lately been a lot of really good re-releases of some of the albums that I've had over the years that have kind of worn out. I'd love to do specific... I already feel like this sucks. It sucks so bad. I don't want to just sit and say what I want to do. This is dumb. I'm blowing it. I blew it. I blew it, everybody. I'm sorry.
What you want to do as an intro, though, is to explain what your show's going to be about.
Okay, we're going to get this back on the rails. I had a moment of self-doubt, but now thanks, guys. You backed me up. My buddies Tom, Danny, and Tiffany are here, a.k.a. Danny Disaster from the Order of the Fly, Tom Thastian from the Order of the Fly, and Abby Noxious from both the Order of the Fly and End. And Tom was in End for a while, and Danny was in End for a while. Everybody's been in and out of all the bands. It's been a big round robin of disappointment and sadness and anger and frustration with each other. So, as far as albums go, there's going to be so much editing happening. There's going to be a lot of snippets, I think, in this one. I'm feeling a little tipsy.
Everything.
Quick, I need wine or liquor.
We need wine!
We need wine. Oh, sweet. We got my wine slave's on his way to get wine. Alright, this thing already sucks, so I'm just going to, blow it. It's like the intro to Strange Brew where the film breaks and they're like, nah, fuck it, we'll just explain it. So it was 10 years after World War IV. U.S. blew up Russia, and Russia blew up U.S. Fleshy-headed mutants were roaming the Forbidden Zone. Okay, so this week's... Huh?
Speaking of...
This is going to be the worst video ever. This will probably be the one that I keep just because it's so bad. So, like I was mentioning, there's certain albums that I absolutely adore and kind of flew under the radar. And luckily for me, Rhino Records just reprinted one of my all-time favorite albums. The other night I saw Alice Cooper for the third time, or maybe fourth, but he keeps getting better, and the guy looks amazing for his age. It is a huge inspiration to me. I love him so much, and his stage show is fantastic. His band is amazing, but he never plays anything off of one specific album. There's a few albums that he doesn't play, but they're the albums that I consider sort of like his, like how David Bowie has the Berlin trilogy. Alice Cooper has his own weird trilogy of just, or actually it's more like a quadrilogy. There's about 4 albums that he really steers clear of, and they're fucking amazing. And I swore, they're amazing, and I love more than anything the last album he did before he sort of took a break and got sober. And I think I love it because you can really hear the desperation and the sort of a man at the end of his rope, and kind of feels like he's out of ideas, but being out of ideas led him to do some things that he really never had done before or after. Most of the album is recorded with Bob Ezrin sequencing the drums. Ooh, thank you. And so it's almost like a quasi-industrial new wave album, but the album itself is this gem, Dada. One of the great all-time albums. Most people would not put it in the top 10 Alice Cooper albums, but it's my favorite, along with a few other less appreciated ones. But Rhino just re-released it and put it out on this nifty color. It's like a sort of rusty orange, which I think is appropriate because it sort of matches the orange in the hair. It's a reworking of a Salvador Dali painting. It's got all the lyrics printed on the back. It's a very weird, obscure album, and it's one that he doesn't really talk about very much in interviews because he was very deep into alcoholism and addiction at the time of the recording. But I think that lends to the interesting sort of vibe that it has, as well as the fact that it was him getting back together again with Bob Ezrin, who recorded most of his early albums and all of his classics, and Bob did a lot of production work and playing on this album too that I think informs it. And it also had Dick Wagner doing guitar duties, and some of the best work that Alice ever did was with Dick Wagner. And Dick Wagner's guitar tone and his sort of lead style is immediately recognizable. Another great album that I was able to pick up is this also re-release of the Forbidden Zone soundtrack by the Mystic Knights of the Oingo Boingo. Before they dropped the Mystic Knights shtick and went full Oingo Boingo. But this is a classic piece of trash cinema directed by Danny Elfman's brother Richard, and it's pressed in a beautiful translucent green that matches some of the writing on the album cover. So it's a really nice combination of visual, vinyl, and album cover art, which is the main reason why I love vinyl so much, is that you've got these options to really examine the art, really have a chance to see things in like a large format that you don't ever get from any other format, like tapes or CDs or just crappy digital downloads. And then the third album that I got recently that I'm really in love with is the new Carpenter Brute album, Leather Teeth, which is fantastic. From the gatefold cover with this incredible interior art, and it's a soundtrack to a movie that doesn't exist, but it has the perfect 80s synthwave vibe. This past year I got super into synthwave, and my two faves of the whole genre that floated to the top were Vampire Stepdad, who unfortunately have not put out anything on vinyl yet, but hopefully soon, and Carpenter Brute. And their new one, Leather Teeth, is amazing and fantastic. So I'd like to get a chance to sort of like play some of the songs from this and show you guys how great it is, and maybe show people some of my influences as well, and get a chance for the other guys in the band to sit down with me and we can discuss their favorite records and what their influences are, and you know, maybe sit and discuss comics with Tom and movies with everybody else, and just have a chance to sort of like get to know the people that are out there that might be interested in the band, and hopefully meet some new people along the way before we put out our new album, which we've been working on for frickin' ever. And it's just been like a comedy of errors trying to produce it, but it's coming along. It's almost ready to be completely finalized. I've got a few songs to finish lyrics for and record lyrics for. Most of the guitar work is done. All the songs, drums are tracked, and they're basically is like a good rough mix ready to go. Some of the songs that'll be on the album we've already put out in the form of little EPs. and we'll also be releasing our album Hollow Voices of a Dead Generation on vinyl later this year. I'm working on getting the artwork ready for a like an LP size format, and getting the songs ready to go for vinyl as well. So that's it. It's just a quick little introduction to say hello and introduce you guys to me, and hopefully get a chance to catch up with some people that I haven't talked to in a long time. Hopefully you'll stay tuned, and I'll be able to create one of these videos a week. We usually practice on Tuesdays, so my goal is to, while I'm here at practice, sit down and produce a quick little video and maybe include some of the other guys next time. So stay tuned and stick around, and hopefully we'll have some good stuff for you in the future.